Hey everyone, welcome to another typology interview. We have Otim, Manny. It says Manny. We're going to confuse people
Yeah,
with your name here.
it's fine. It's cool.
Yeah.
You can go with either one. I don't actually mind. Or oatmeal. I've been here as oatmeal, so
Yeah, I've seen that
you
last
know.
time you were on the show, Oatmeal. So yeah, you've been here a couple times. Um,
Yeah, this is like a second
I
home. I feel so comfy here.
yeah,
It's really
yeah.
weird, but it's yeah, I feel really comfy here.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your shadow functions.
Sure.
So I don't know how much you've been investigating. I know you're spending a lot of time with people who aren't sharing your functions. So I guess you
Yeah.
see kind of how they work. Yeah. Okay. So any, I guess, like your NI shadows to any. I think you know what any is, but like,
Yeah.
first of all, how do you perceive any? How does it come off to you?
Yeah. Any out of I think any is generally the most elusive from my knowledge. Like I've had the hardest time really getting to understand it the most. But like, I've experienced any's. Like I'm on the Niger with Jono and Assis. They both have any,
Exactly.
and then Jono has feminine any, and then Assis has masculine. So I get to experience both. And to me, it's kind of like because it's both like because NI and NE are both intuition, they are doing the same thing, but you really see the difference when they're kind of butting heads. And I guess the most recent difference I noticed was like, yesterday I was doing a recording with the guys. We're talking about TE, and just before the show, we were kind of preparing like what we were gonna say and stuff. And Assis was wondering what I was gonna say about masculine TE, and I was just talking about how TE kind of needs to validate ideas so they can kind of be a bit aggressive, but it's just to kind of validate to see if, oh, should we go with this idea or stick with the original one? It's more of a validation process.
Okay.
And he was kind of saying that, all right, like that's true, but that's just masculinity in general. Like what you saying I need to distinguish that from TI. So now I was saying to him, well, the only thing I could say is TE is it's gonna more be focused on the tribe's ideas, whereas TI isn't gonna go out of its way. It's just gonna do that for whatever idea happens to enter its perception, but it's not gonna actively go out and do that. And to him, that wasn't quite good enough, right? And I was just like, I don't know, like I don't know what else. And we had to have like a back and forth, and the whole interaction was interesting because at first I was like, I don't know what to say, and he was trying to tell me his point was to like look at it at a more universal perspective.
Hmm.
So he was trying to say, all right, you kind of have to look at it like the TEs are trying to apply universal logic, and he really wanted to hit that home. So he was trying to get me to add more about the universal uh,
I see. What you're saying
aspect
is
of
like
it.
he was trying to pull you out of your NI
Yeah,
into other options.
yeah,
Instead of what an NI user would do is try to like double down and help you narrow down better with your NI. Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. Because
exactly.
like
And
because like I get
throughout
that
the
because like
yeah,
NI has an idea of what, right? And then like you need to
mhm.
sort of shape and mold and sculpt that idea into something else
Yeah,
if you want
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
NE just can just throw that out and be like, okay, this is one. Let's just grab another
yeah.
one. And then yeah.
And the
Is that kind of
interesting
what you were
thing
saying?
is, yeah, yeah, that's definitely that. And the interesting thing is, by the end of it, because we had to have a back and forth, and by the end of it, I was saying things to him that were like really insightful. So by the end of it, I was saying insightful things, and he was like, "Yeah, that's good. Say that kind of thing." And
Uh-huh.
like I was editing the video, and I realized it's almost like I'm with my and I am only able to piece things together based on what's in my box. Like I'm really good at rotating the Rubik's cube, like seeing all the different ways something is, but it's very contained. So when he gave me like the conceptual information, by the end of our conversation, I was like getting something good out of it. So like after watching that back,
Mhm.
like wow, like you can see the difference. Like I wasn't trying to. I needed him to give me the conceptual information, and I was molding it from when I had it. So it's yeah, that kind of really kind of showed me the difference between any and NI. Where any is just trying to
You know.
rein it in, and NI is more trying to like mold it into something. I
Yeah.
guess. But
And it sounds also like he was pulling you out of your little box. Like he
for
was
sure,
trying to
yeah,
pull
yeah,
you
for
out.
sure, yeah, that
Yeah.
too, yeah.
Okay, so like would you ever do that kind of thing that he's doing?
Um, I'd say I do that, but I don't know, right? Like to me, I think
Yeah,
I'm doing that, but that's just the perspective of an introverted person. When probably the extroverts are doing that much more.
I
I
see.
don't know. Hey Sheila. Um, do I do that? I guess I'd say yes. I would say yes, but I probably don't do it to the extent he does it. He probably does it
Right.
a lot more than me. Um, and yeah, for sure.
Okay,
And I
what
find
about
myself, yeah, I find myself
go
getting
ahead.
less. I find myself getting less, not like I guess annoyed, or like I find myself getting less. For example, Jordan Peterson, he's always kind of like he'll explain an idea and he'll talk about how a certain person is not like thinking the right way. So in the recent Q&A, Shay were talking about how in the multiple intelligence thing, like Jordan Peterson was saying how it's not multiple intelligences and how that guy was wrong because it's more of a talent, right? So Jordan Peterson, he generally has the pattern where he'll talk about the idea, he'll talk about how some person is being an idiot, and it's like and about how this idea is really obvious. So to the NEs, it's like idea or the patterns are like self-evident. So I find myself not thinking that way usually. So if someone is thinking, if like I have like the a perspective that I think could be useful for someone, I'll think that like I'll be more gentle with them about that because I'm like
Hmm.
because patterns are personal, so it's like I don't,
Yeah.
it might not be obvious to them, so let me guide them, or maybe, do you know what I mean? So I'm more gentle, I
So
guess.
yeah, so I'm wondering, like, okay, so NI for NI, the solution is always go deeper, and I guess
Yeah.
for NE, the solution is go somewhere else, get out of this one thing, look at it a different way.
Yeah.
Do you ever just give up on going deeper and try to look at it in a different way?
um
What would it take for you to get there?
um do I ever um I it sounds kind of weird, but because of the way my animal stack set up, the way I go deeper is I have to broaden it. Like I don't know how to like go deep, just directly go deep into a concept. The only way like I can make a concept more justified or more what's the right word? Uh
Based in
kind
reality?
Yeah, not even real, just more distinguished, just more
Okay,
valid, I guess. It doesn't even have to be, but yeah, the only way I can like make a concept more significant is by like broadening how it relates to things. And it's because I have consumed
right.
play. So that's
But
how I
that's
do that.
deeper. That's also
Yeah,
deeper
and
for NI. Yeah,
yeah, it's
because like
deeper. It's a yeah, I
the
guess
deeper
I
you
don't
get,
know.
the more broad it is. That's really true. Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know then, because the way I'm set up is my concepts are so wide that it fits everything.
it fits
You get what I'm
everything. That's
saying?
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like there's no switching because it's everything.
Right. That's
I
right.
don't know I don't know what to
Am I going to give up on everything to go to something that's not
say.
everything? Yeah, where am I going
Yeah,
to
yeah,
go?
yeah. I
Right.
don't like yeah. So I don't know what to
Um,
say.
what about in terms of gathering new concepts and things like that?
I do like that. I like, but I usually when I'm gathering new concepts, like I'm gathering it by just basically all I'm doing is I'm relating it to a concept I already have.
Yeah.
And then that's all it
That's yeah.
is, really.
Well, that's what
That's
NI
it.
is looking for. It's to build its own concept and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
expand its own concept and deepen its own concept. And then like what would a new one help me with that? But I
Yeah.
mean, do in this certain case, Assis was giving you new concepts. I
Mm.
don't know.
Yeah, and
So
even like there was a recent conversation as well. He was telling me about this game idea, which is really cool. And I was like, okay. And then like what I said to him, I was like, oh, so is it like is it kind of like how I related it to neuroscience, and yeah, I mean that is what it is. But he was kind of like, it was like, yeah. And the reason why he was like that was because I wasn't, and I was aware of this. I wasn't even addressing the idea as it was. I immediately tried to relate it to something I knew, and I was purely having a conversation with him based on like neuroscience and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, I see how it is in neuroscience, and it's like this. And he was like, I mean, that is it. It's just like, why are you like just talk? Yeah. So it's
Why are you
weird. Like
relating it to something else? Yeah.
yeah, and I always, and I notice I tend to do that. Like I'm trying to like see how concepts overlap.
Right.
And yeah,
How it fits into what you already have. Uh-huh.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Lissa asks, hi, Lissa, by the way. Do you ever notice any dom sometimes come to conclusions that you've already reached and ruled out? So it seems like you are dismissive.
I feel it's probably the opposite.
Yeah.
I
I feel
mean, feels
similar
like,
too.
they see like, yeah. First of all, the
It's
concepts
a
aren't
conclusion I
present.
would never want to reach. It's like, why would I ever reach that weird conclusion? No, that's why I'm dismissive of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. Like for me, well, I think it might be because I'm double introverted as well, and like the NI and the
Okay.
TI really are the same. It's almost like when I'm like trying to think through something or get to a conclusion or figure something out or whatever. It's I have to like ride the wave. I have to like think something through. I have to have like the wrong ideas and thoughts and then realize they're wrong. And usually I notice with NEs, they don't have to like go through it in that linear way. They're not like considering each like concept as it is. They just kind of have that awareness. So like usually they'll be dismissing what I'm doing, but I'm just going through my process. Like, and they're just kind of quicker. So since the NE's quick, it can feel that way from my perspective.
I do get
But I
that
don't know.
too, that any dismisses R and I really quickly too, because
Yeah.
it's just one. It's like, okay, there's this one. Like, stop talking about this one. There's many
Yeah,
others.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I'm like I'm trying to wait till I can properly dismiss it. So I'm going through it and then dismissing
Right.
it, but they're kind of like quick. So, but yeah, it's just how they work, I guess.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sorry, Lissa, you've already gotten past that concept, I guess. She said interesting, thank you. Okay. What about any in terms of seeing all of the variances and the differences in reality? Because I guess like NI is looking for more the similarities, how all things fit together in
Yeah.
one. But like, are you looking for? Do you like to see the variance? Do you like to see how things are? I don't know. Are you looking for the uncertainty, things that could
Mm.
be?
Oh, this one's tricky. Because I do that, but I do it from a logical standpoint, not from a. I don't think it's my NI. I think it's more my TI. That it's like someone will say something, and I'll be like, "Well, technically, like you're not thinking about that. Like there
Mhm.
is like I'll like point out flaws and like
Yeah.
I'm very pedantic about things, but it's my TI, so I'll notice differences in terms of that. But my I don't know what it's doing. I guess does it look for does it is it aware of variances? I guess I tried
Just
to
talking about
remove
any in general, yeah. Like if
any
you're able to use your any, yeah, in that way, looking for
yeah,
variances, looking for uncertainties, tracking the uncertainties, tracking what could be,
yeah. Let me think.
all the possibilities.
I think it happens when like how do I explain this? When my NI has like when my NI kind of has the patterns there, like it's a bit formed, like like if I learn like a new fact, like the SE like tells me something contradictory
Hmm.
to like what I have, it'll kind of get me to like I'll start reshuffling concepts. That's what I noticed. Like I'll reshuffle things like, okay, this was something different. Maybe I should like reshuffle stuff to see if like there's another configuration. Like it's hard to think of an example right now.
Yeah, no, that's sleep to me. Yeah, that sounds just like
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah, that is sleep. I
That's
don't
what
know.
sleep is doing all the time, just reshuffling, seeing if it works better in a different configuration. It's like,
Yeah,
nope, I already tried this configuration 30 times.
yeah,
Let's
yeah,
try this one.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. That's true. Other than that, I can't think of like me doing that variety thing like with any. I don't know. Can't think.
Uh-huh. What about like brainstorming and stuff like that? How do you go about that?
Um, uh, it's yeah, it's kind of like what I was saying before. It has to be like I just follow my thoughts. Like I'll be like, all right, I need to just see where this leads. So let me just start with my first thought. I'll write it down like on a notepad or something, and then something another idea will pop up. I'm like, oh, then I follow that one. Then I'll keep going, and then like looking back at like all the things I've thought, I'll like be able to see it from a larger perspective and be like, okay, like I have more of the picture now. What do I think about this? And then I can reshuffle it, and then I can get more ideas. It's weird. It has to like it's like a step by step thing. Um,
Hmm.
and it's almost yeah. I have to like this. It's almost I guess it's because it's like feminine intuition. Like I almost have to let it come out to me. I have to like let it come out step by step. um yeah, it's never like just boom like, and just there. It's just like okay, like what does that mean? Oh, this means this. Okay, then what does that mean? And then it just keeps going, I guess.
Okay. So
Does that
then,
make sense, or like does that
yeah, it
relate
does.
to
I'm just wondering, did you like see how this conversation was going to go before you came here?
um I watched Uzar's video,
Right.
and I was thinking, oh, maybe I should prepare, and I was thinking of stuff that I should prepare, but then I just didn't.
Uh-huh.
And did I see where this combo was going? In a general sense, yeah. Like I was like, oh, he's
Right.
gonna ask me about any FI, SI, and
Right.
TE. But other than that, no. I just knew what you were gonna ask me, and
Uh-huh.
like, I was like, I do have some stuff, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. That's the
Okay.
extent. Very
That's
general,
impressive
yeah.
that you were able to let go of that and not do that. I don't know.
I guess I don't know. Maybe it's because of the blast not there.
Right.
I wasn't thinking about like, oh, let me piece out how this in communication will go. I'm just like, I'll fit like the play will do its thing. Like, hopefully, I
Uh-huh.
know what I'm talking
Because
about.
that's also kind of like a little bit about the reason I'm asking is it's kind of also how any would manifest itself a little bit, looking at all the different possibilities and how it could go like this, it could go like this, sort of
Right,
thing.
right, yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know, unless the only time I've ever kind of done that is when I was doing my video typing with Dave and Shannon, and I sent them the video. I sent two videos. So part one was me just talking about my pre-processing before about sending this video, and then I did the second video was the actual video answering the questions. In the pre-processing one, I said to them all the ways I predicted it was gonna go, and like all my
Uh-huh.
thoughts, and like all my thought processes that led me to think other things. And I
Hmm.
said all that. So that's the only time I did it. But other than that, I tend to just want to go with the flow.
How how far can you stray when you're doing that predictive process? Like how can you like so like there's the main path, right? How
Mm.
far can you take it off that main path before you have to bring it back home? Or like
Very quick, very
yeah.
quickly. And I think it's kind of like I've heard you talk about baby NIs. Like you've talked about how you can have an NI, and it's not going too deep, but it is there. It has its piece.
Uh-huh.
But then you're also like you have lots of NIs kind of thing. And that process that you're talking about, like I'll tend to I'll have the same stem, but I'll have like loads of branches. So like I'm seeing different ways the convo could go. Um very it's like I'm reluctant to go deep because I'm like in general I don't predict things that far ahead. Like I don't know what's gonna happen a week. Like I don't even plan for more than a week.
Yeah.
Like so
Well, okay, there's a difference
yeah.
between predicting and planning because because
Yeah.
with a plan, you make the plan happen, right?
True.
You
True.
have
True.
SE steps, and you have to get it there. Predicting is
Yeah.
like it's passive. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
will happen? What is that going to do? Like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
what NE does, I think. It's more predicting. It's more seeing. It's not trying to make something happen. It's trying to see what will happen.
What will happen? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. It tends to. Yeah. In general, that process of like trying to think about like how the convo is going to go. Yeah. I don't. I'm thinking of a concise way to say it. Let's say a convo can have so many back and forths. Let's say someone with this is just my thoughts. So let's say someone with masculine and I might predict like 20 back and forths. They're thinking, I'll say this, they'll say that, I'll say this. So it's like quite deep into the convo they're predicting. I'll think about 2 or 3 back and forths. And I'll be like, that's that shade of it. Then it could go
I think
this
that's
way.
true for
I don't know.
NI. Like NI it doesn't want to think of all the back and forth. It'll think about how am I going to make this be a back and forth that I want. Like
Yeah.
NI is very controlling the way it does.
Yeah.
It thinks about the future, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. That is, yeah, that's a good point. I don't know,
NE
man.
is all about letting go of that control in the future and being like, what will happen if I
What
don't
will
control
happen?
it? Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's fair enough. It's the you picked the worst person for this because it's like my NI is just kind of weird because of the way it is. Like maybe
no.
It's not the purest form of it to like distinguish between NE and NI. So I don't know if what I'm saying is very confusing.
I don't know if I'm getting you right, but basically what I'm getting from you is like you're basically not NEing pretty much.
Right.
You're not
Okay.
doing that. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
That's all I was trying to get from you. Is like
yeah.
And you're saying, "Oh, I'm doing like this. It could be NE." No, that's NI. I'm doing
right.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Do you always make assumptions about the situation you're in?
Yeah. I live my life on assumptions. Like, and sometimes I don't think I'm making assumptions, but when something goes wrong, then I'm like, why did I? Oh, I did it. Like, I had an assumption. Like, what? And the assumptions are really, they're not even deep assumptions. The assumptions are very undetailed and very like vague. And I'm like, oh, it'll go like this. And then when I enter the situation, there's so many things involved with
Something
it. I'm
like this sort of thing. Right?
Yeah. And I should have like thought it through. I'm like, why didn't I like, or at least be aware that my assumption will be bad. So let me not rely on it, kind of thing. So hey, Thomas.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on then. Okay. So TI is your depending on who you ask, it's your next function. So that would shadow to TE. How do you understand TE? How does it how do you relate to TE? When you see a TE dominant, how do you interact with them?
TE dominants are so quick. They're so fast, like with the ideas.
Yeah.
Like, let's say there's an issue. I'll need to like think it through a bit more deliberately. They'll have like 10 solutions like in 5 seconds. I'm like, what the hell? Like how? I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, it's so fast. Like both NE and TE are like, I guess it's like my opposite because I'm NITI and I'm like trying to go deep or like more considered with the concepts and the logic, and they're just like really fast. So yeah, it just seems so quick with troubleshooting, brainstorming, that kind of stuff. That's in behavior or like in outward appearance, that's the thing that stands out to me, like how quick compared to me the TE is. And it's also, I guess, it also comes in with communicating with the tribe.
Right. Well, I guess TE is far away from sleep as well. TI will and sleep for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So do you see that they're a little bit pushy, TE? Do they feel pushy with their logic?
Yeah, but not like pushy, not pushy in the sense like TI pushy is like, this is my idea, and they're quite pushy in that this is their idea. They feel confident about it. I like that. I'm like, you have your idea, I have mine. Let's battle it out. But the TE for me feels more like this is your idea. I'm gonna push on it. Do you know what I mean? It's
Uh-huh.
more trying to go for you than like then present what. But that's a false
Yeah, I
perception. To
guess.
be fair, that is
I
a false
noticed a lot
perception.
TE likes to tell you how the best way to go about things is. But
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
know if
my
you,
God.
yeah.
Like sometimes I'm just like I just want to do this, and like they'll give me suggestions, trying to be helpful, and I'll just be like, yeah, but I just want to like I want to find out, like I want to figure out, like you know.
So like I had to stand my ground once against a TE user who was like, they're not all like this, but some of them are just like, okay, so this is what you got to do. You got to go like this, and then do this, and like laying out the exact
Yeah, yeah,
process of what has to
yeah,
happen. And I'm like, okay, I hear you. I hear your opinion. I will come up with my own opinion, and then I will do that sort of
yeah,
thing. And they
yeah,
get so offended.
yeah. Oh, bro, yeah, for real. Like
Yeah.
I always feel bad because I'm like I know they're trying to help, but like I don't want to take it. Like, and I noticed the reverse is true. Like, as in with FE, since I have FE, if I'm doing that with people with FI, I'm thinking I'm helping them process their emotions. I'm helping. Sometimes, like an FI person will throw out their opinion, and I'll give them a different perspective. Like, oh, maybe even though you say this person is like they'll say something negative, I'm like, yeah, they could be. It could be this, but what if they're going through this situation and like maybe and then the FI person will like be annoyed that I'm trying to make them feel guilty or make them feel or like devalue their opinion or trying to change how they feel. So like where I think I'm being helpful, I'm really just annoying
Well,
someone. Do you know what I mean? So
because
it's like
I guess what you're talking about
invading.
is like processing emotions, right? And so like the
Yeah,
FI wants to process their own emotions in their own way, and then you're like,
yeah,
hey, let's process together your
yeah,
emotions.
exactly. And so
And
I'm
FI is like, no,
yeah.
we don't do that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So I imagine, and in those situations, I'm like, oh, poo. Like, I was trying to help them, and I guess the TE person, they're not trying to like, they're
Yeah.
just trying to help you. So yeah,
Yeah. And I think part of the offense too is like, well, like, okay, come up with your own idea, but put it out there. Let's talk about it. Let's come to
yeah,
a conclusion together about it. And it's like, no,
yeah,
it's not how
yeah,
it
yeah,
works. Let
yeah,
me come to a conclusion, then I'll present it to you. Like,
yeah,
and I guess it's just so like they have a way of doing it that's a little bit more objective because
yeah,
it's so delusional to think, okay, I'm the one who gets to decide on. But I mean, it's my
yeah,
decision.
I,
Yeah. So I'm just
yeah,
wondering if you do that then, if you're like if you like to put out your ideas like that, or you do it
I,
sometimes
yeah.
and you get feedback on it.
I um, I um, I do like let's say like there's a group and we're trying to do something. Let's say like the TE person is gonna be the one saying like, oh, let's do this. This is the best idea for us. This is the best way we can sort the situation out. I'll
Mhm.
I'll know. I'll also in my head know what's best for the tribe too. Like I'm logic. I'm
Right.
plugged in too, but I'll be reluctant to say because I'll feel like who am I to say? But if someone did want my opinion and like if people listen to me, it would feel good. Like it's as in like it's not something I like yeah, it's not like I'm not thinking about the tribe at all. So I will in my head have like I'll know what would be best for what we can all do, but like I'll just be like I don't know. Like I'll think about the effect it would have on how they feel. Like, can I say this? Like, would they be happy about this? Like, do you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I'll be
What
reluctant to do it.
Okay, what about seeing thoughts on a spectrum and trying to get everyone's opinions and trying to
Yeah,
get outside of your own subjective nature in the thinking and trying to get like I guess
yeah.
gathering thoughts and ideas.
I only do that if if my TI hasn't like got to a solution, I'll just be like, all right, let me
Oh, you
outsource
will.
this. So it's like, yeah, just to, like
Hmm.
I do it for the sake of TI. Like I do it for the sake of like understanding this myself. So I'll be like, let me
Hmm.
like pick out what they think. Like, what do you think about this? And then that will, if in like hopefully like help me get to a solution about something.
Hmm.
So yeah,
What about what about going out of your, like, focusing on what works, trying to
Um,
get the thing to work?
yeah. Will I? Do you mean like will I do that over prioritizing? Uh, I mean, yeah. Let me think. Um, depends on what I'm sacrificing. If I'm sacrificing, sometimes like you can get something to work, but it's working right now, but there will be a cost for long term. So let's
Hmm.
say like I don't let's say I have homework due or something, and I haven't done much work, so I'm like, shit, let me do an all-nighter. um oh no,
Hmm.
sorry, let's say I have like an exams in like 3 weeks, and I'm like, I'm no, sorry, I'm trying to think of a way of describing it.
What
If I have
about
to
using? Go ahead.
I don't want to sacrifice my sleep or long-term stability just to make something work short term. Like
Right.
I want something to work, and not
Forever.
like, yeah. So that's, but if it can work short term and there's no sacrifice in hand, then I'll do it. Like if I had to stay up all night to finish homework or something, I'm like, I gotta do this, like, and it's fine. Like the days after I can recover, but let me just do the fast and easy solution. Let me just do, yeah. And
Yeah.
also, if I'm
Like,
sacrificing if I'm sacrificing, yeah, pretty much that.
truth.
But I don't, it depends. It depends on what it is. If it's like morality, if it's like a question based on, like, if it's more like philosophical, or if it's like ethics, I will
Hmm.
prioritize truth over what works.
Yeah.
Like, there's like this, I can't remember exactly, but this thing that Kant says, where it's kind of like, if you're posed with like a moral dilemma, you should try act in accordance with reality. It's hard to describe. So there's like this situation where there's a train coming, someone's stuck on the tracks, and
Yep.
you can save that person. There's two people. You can save two people and end up killing one other person, or you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
let those two people die or whatever. And like, I think based on Kant's logic, it's like you should let it happen as it is. You shouldn't play God. Or I
You
can't
should
remember.
default to what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I can't remember. Maybe and I think the TE person would think, oh, it's a numbers game, just save people. But in a more abstract situation, I'm gonna stick with like something rooted in like a deeper logic. So it looks crazy on the surface, but like if I could explain it, there's a logic behind it. So in those situations, I'll prefer truth. But in day to day, I just want it to work, man. Like,
So this is a really good question here. I like this, Sheila. Does TI not like to talk about the steps it takes to make something work out loud? So TI's goal is not to make something work, first of all. And then second of all, it's not going to talk about the steps unless it knows that the steps lead to something. So like just talking steps out loud doesn't help, because unless you know already that it's been solved, and then you have to go and backtrack. Okay, this is the solution. I'll backtrack through my steps, and this is how I got there. I don't know if that
I mean,
helps.
I guess for me, uh, let me try to think. I don't do it out loud, but maybe it's because I don't know. I like knowing the steps. Like, I'm very like, I don't know.
I
Maybe
like
it's
knowing the
because,
steps too, but I won't talk about them until I know they've led somewhere. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I won't talk about them.
yeah,
I can retrospectively do that, but yeah, because
right.
yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
Um,
But internally, it's very
because like I guess
methodical.
I guess like a stereotype for TE is like that whiteboarding, putting stuff up on the whiteboard
Yeah,
and then thinking out loud, sort of like
yeah,
thinking with people together.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is apparently
I
really
mean,
bad for producing ideas. I think I learned about it in
Yeah,
psychology. Like
it works.
apparently
Oh, is it?
brainstorming with people is a less effective way of actually getting to ideas. Something like that.
He must have been a TI user, because for TE users, that's how they do it.
Yeah, there was studies done on it, so I don't. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
interesting. Okay, what about in terms of yeah, I guess helping other people make things work. Do you feel an obligation to do that?
Um, if it's like in front of me, like if someone is like, if it definitely feels good. Like if I help someone figure something out, it
Yeah.
feels good. I feel like my whatever my value, my because the self over tribe are trying to build up their build themselves up so they can be useful. So if when that happens, I feel like I'm satisfying the point of me figuring this TI stuff
Right.
out. So it does feel good. Do I feel
Yeah.
obligated? I won't. I put myself less in the environment to do that. I don't do it so
Hmm.
much. But if someone asks me, that's the best thing. Like you'd probably have to ask me. I wouldn't go out of my way. But if you ask me, I'd love to kind of thing. So internally, I want to. I just don't do it.
Mm.
Or like, I
What
want to
about
be of use, basically.
what about reinforcing an argument with another argument, or refuting an argument with another argument? Do you do that?
Wait, what do you mean? I don't understand. Maybe
Um,
that answers it.
no, yeah, I wish it did. um, like, say someone presents to you an argument that you don't agree with.
Yeah,
Okay, how
yeah.
would you go about disproving it? Could you bring in a new argument to disprove it?
I prefer to just. I could do that, but I usually prefer to ask them questions and try guide them. I try to. I don't want to do it like directly usually, but I'll have in my head what the correct way of thinking is, like according to me. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
But like my approach would, I'd kind of like ask them questions. I'd find where the smallest chink is. Like when we narrow it down to what that chink is in their thinking, then I'll tell them, okay, this piece you're thinking about this specific piece wrong. I don't want to take your whole argument into the bin, but this piece now we've narrowed down where your logic is taking you. Like this
Mhm.
is all that's different. So yeah, I'll ask questions and then just yeah, that kind of
So,
way of
so
doing it.
Sheila has a good question, a very specific example, but I'll ask it more in general. Do you, okay, so like, let's say you have like a goal to accomplish. Will you try to get other people on board with that goal with the logic, and will you talk about how you're going to do it before you do it together?
Only if I'm doing something with someone and I think that like this will take for me, I'll spend longer doing something I don't want to do. I will say like, guys, let's do it this way because I don't want to stick around like
So
needlessly.
here's a specific example here. Like, say you want to move furniture. So do you say the steps you should do when you're just picking up the furniture and hope for the best, or what?
Oh,
Or like, do you just pick it up and hope for the best, or do you like say we're gonna pick it up, we're gonna move it like this? Like, that's really blasty, I guess. But
yeah. I mean, but that one, but genuinely, the motive, I would kind of try make sense of like what's the best way to do this. But it's purely like I don't want to stick around. Like I don't want to be here fiddling around with fun. Like I want to get in and get out as quick as possible so I can do something I
Mhm.
want for the rest of my day. So I'm like, what? How is the best way to do this? And then when I know how to do it, like, and I have to do it with this person, they're just a piece in this kind of like process. So I have to communicate with them because if I don't, then like in some situations, you
Mhm.
just have to communicate. So it's yeah, that one's like yeah, but I think I just have to. There's no other way around it. It's like what would you do?
I would just, I wouldn't figure it out as I go, but I would just sort of know the best steps, but I wouldn't communicate it. You know what I mean? I'd be like,
Wouldn't that
I'd be
wouldn't
like,
that like make it not work though? Like let's say you have to move it with someone, like you're both
you would
holding the
think so.
furniture.
I would know. I would already know what all the steps, but like I would think it pointless to tell all the steps in advance. Like I guess maybe it's more SE. So
Yeah,
I would just
yeah.
say, okay, now let's do this. Next step is this. Next step. I would already know them all,
Ah,
but I would think it's just like a data dump, just to throw it all out there on the table.
right. Yeah, right.
The only thing
Okay.
I need to be concerned with is the next step. Like,
Yeah, right, right. Okay, okay,
yeah.
okay. Fair enough.
But I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
um,
interesting. I guess because you're gonna look at it in so like you just have so much SE about what to do. Maybe I'm saying I would do it because it's like it's not, I don't have a lot of data. I am literally saying like very few things because I'm clumping it together. So it's like
mhm.
I don't know. That's I'm just trying to make
Also, the
sense of
NI
it.
is planning anyways. The NI is
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
all up
yeah.
about that.
Exactly. Yeah.
You'll talk about it 10 times before you do it, or think
Yeah.
about it 10 times before you go to do it, and then
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
For real. Yeah. Like but like yeah, that's pretty much how everything is.
Um, trying to think what else we can get on to TE. Okay, well, let's move on for now.
Yeah.
So FE goes to FI, Shadow is down to FI. Do you know your own priorities? Like, do you have your own set of priorities?
It's very, very similar to what Uzair said. I feel like he said some theory about how the F seems to be more rooted in like our core. It's more instinctual, and the T is kind of like a higher abstraction of that. So he was kind of saying like TI can figure out priorities, but it does it from a more abstracted version, but it's still priorities. And I messaged him saying like I really relate to that. It's like
Yeah.
I do have priorities, but it's more it's not like actually it's not like from my heart. It's just like I have to think about it and like develop principles or develop like this is important. This didn't go well that day, or I've been
Mhm.
having these problems for a few months. I must never do this again, or like
Okay, so
whatever.
so this is FI prioritizing. This, I guess, it's something that maybe we're missing.
Yeah,
FI prioritizing is knowing the hierarchy of what's more important always. Um,
yeah,
always knowing what to default to. So like with that bridge thing that you were talking about, pushing the guy off the bridge to stop the train and kill him, but you
yeah,
save the two
yeah,
guys. Right.
yeah,
So the FI will know what is the higher priority and it will work it out through that method. So it'll be
mm,
like, okay, the higher priority is saving lives. The higher priority is,
yeah,
more
yeah,
life. Like, and so it would know those kind of value. It would be able to evaluate that in a
yeah.
prioritizing way, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm realizing like I have zero in that sense. I have no priorities. Like I don't
Right.
like I had like I almost like to the point like when I was a kid like there's like so many things that humans do that are part of like just normal human behavior. I was like I don't understand why they do that. Like there was even like this to sound really bad, but like I remember I was probably young. I was probably like I think I was like 6 or 7, 7 probably, or 7 or 8 or something. And I was just contemplating like you know I could have been born with some like really bad disability, or like just in
Right.
some way malfunctioned. Like I asked my dad like, oh dad, like if I was like really disabled or whatever, like what would you like? And I created some situation, and I was like, and you could have you didn't have to have me. You could choose to not have me. Like, would you still do that? I was like, and he was like, of course, like he would. And I was like, really? Like, I don't understand that. Like, why would you put yourself through that? Like, you can just hit the reset button though. Like, why wouldn't you just hit the reset button and have a normal challenge? Like, no, like if it doesn't matter, like it's fine. I was like, I don't want like it how does that make sense? I had a very so I don't it's almost like I have to think through why someone would do something like
Yeah.
it's not
So I get the
natural.
same thing.
I don't
I I get
Yeah.
stuck on it. If there's no logical outcome, it's just what you prefer or what's more important or, something like that.
Yeah.
Do you have like circles of friends like, these guys are my closest friends, these guys are less close, these guys are this kind of friend? No.
It's so like even people like someone might call me a close friend. I'm just like, are we? Like I didn't know. Like that's happened,
Right.
and I'm just like, oh, okay. Like yeah, I just it's almost like I and this is like demon FE too. It's almost like it's like everyone's on the same level. But I have like the closest friend, but then everyone else is like yeah, it's hard for me to distinguish. It's really hard.
Hmm.
I just try to treat everyone like the same with the same love kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you have like a list of people that if you wanted to rob a bank, you would take them, or a list of people if you wanted to throw a party, a support party for someone, you would take them, or like,
Mm, yeah, probably, but like more from a logical perspective, like what are their traits
right?
and skills and what personalities are conducive to that activity, like to make it work well, as opposed to
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah, I guess that's
my
FE as well.
yeah,
Good.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Um, what about so what about working out things that like let's say
I
a
do a
birthday
lot of
party,
like
right?
birthday party stuff.
So like,
Um,
okay, so like say your girlfriend is having her birthday, right?
mm,
And then she wants to celebrate it on another day,
yeah,
and then her birthday is coming up sooner. So like,
yeah.
where would you put more emphasis? What day would be more important for you to celebrate?
Um, uh, so yeah, this might be. I guess it gets more because it's not really important. It's like you celebrate them in two different ways. There's like I'll make her feel special on her actual birthday, and but the day that we're acting out her birthday, that would be like I would do the things related to celebrating. It's like going out to
Mhm.
dinner and like, but the it's weird. So, but it's maybe it's more of an FE thing. Like I'm trying to plan out how to.
You're looking for the win-win. You're not, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're not looking to prioritize
The,
which one over which one.
yeah, there's no priority. It's just like you've just distribute. Like I would do two of those things on the same day, but you've basically distributed them to
Right.
me. I don't know.
What about are you aware of your favorite things, where you like to eat, what you like to do?
If you if you ask me like what's your favorite, like I wouldn't be able to tell you, but if I see it, like I know, like and that might be the I always need kind of inspiration. Like sometimes I don't know what I
Uh-huh.
want unless I can see it, like it won't hit me. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I've been trying to do that, like purposefully. So, but
yeah.
like I always get like whatever's just like you said, whatever's in front of me is now the most important thing. So I'll be eating an avocado. I'm like, avocado is my favorite fruit. And then I'll like then I'll
Yeah,
be
yeah.
eating something like an orange. I'll be like, ah, an orange is
Yeah,
my favorite fruit. It's like,
yeah, that FE, yeah, it's so it like the feminine FE is like the most movable of movable like deciders. Like yeah, yeah. I that yeah, I can understand that.
okay, this is the
Um
second time that Andy's asking this. We're talking about FI, but she wants to know if your FE is draining for you.
yeah, it can be draining. Like
Yeah.
I just sometimes if I don't have the emotional bandwidth, I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I need to hide somewhere.
Hmm.
But it's always like like I can't not if I don't FE, I feel terrible as well. So it's like the pressure to FE is also draining. So like I actually have to like be away kind of thing. I wonder if how TEs
Yeah.
feel about TE. Like do they I don't know.
Um, Are you aware of how you're? Someone asked this already. I know I asked this from you before in a past interview. Are you aware of how you're feeling at times?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be aware of a feeling and it'll be kind of annoying. So I'll do one of two things. I'll either like just be like, oh, something's happening, or like doesn't feel good. Like that's annoying because I'm trying to do this work here and this feeling isn't helpful. Or I'll do like the FI thing where like I'll take it seriously, get my journal out, start writing,
Hmm.
trying to figure out what's wrong and
Right.
play music. I sometimes if I feel something and I can't quite I don't know
Yeah,
what
you were
it
saying.
is.
Yeah.
I'll
You
play
find the
music
song.
and then the music like brings it out very like vividly. I'm like, that's what I'm feeling. Fuck. Then I'll
Right.
write down
If
like
you can relate
whatever.
your feeling to a song, then you can see what the singer's talking
See
about.
it.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
what about processing your own emotions? Will you go and do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I find like I find like it's a good compromise. Like if Effie's a demon, a good
Mhm.
compromise is to work on your it's not real FI, but it's like you can simulate FI, and then it almost makes your emotions more stable, so that you can then work with the tribe. It's like a bridge. If your
Mhm.
emotions, if you kind of get a grip of your emotions better, it helps with when you do need to connect with the tribe. It's like it's not a very foreign. It's not as foreign. It's like when the feelings are completely foreign, the tribe's feelings are going to feel
Mhm.
like a different language. But when you've kind of pieced it in yourself, you can like connect much better. So yeah, I do that. I've been doing
Okay.
it for a while.
What about talking about your what's acceptable to you, what's not acceptable to you? Do you do
Uh,
that?
I don't like doing that because I feel like it's gonna make people feel uncomfortable. Like I want people
Right.
to feel like they can be themselves around me, so I don't want to restrict them on what they can be. Like if I say, "Oh, I hate," like I cannot stand when someone picks their nose. Like even if I do, like I don't want them to then completely like in the future feel uncomfortable every time they pick their
Right.
nose. Like they can do whatever they want, like even if I don't like
So
it.
the
So
reason,
I'll
yeah,
just
the
like
reason I asked this is how I see FI people end up creating boundaries. So I'm going to ask you
right
about your how your boundaries, but like they'll constantly be talking about their values, and then you just
and
have to sort of absorb them and pick them up, and then you know
yeah.
what not to do around them.
Yo, yeah, yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
So I think my girlfriend's FI. I think that
Right.
happens.
Yeah.
To the point that like she could tell me she thinks something and my double feminine no my feminine FE will just at the in the moment I'll kind of disagree with that. I'll be like, oh no, I don't really agree with that. Fair enough. And then like 2 months later, I'm like for example, let's say let's say someone makes boiled eggs in the kitchen, like, and I'm staying at her house, like one of her housemates makes boiled eggs, and she'll be like, "Oh, I really hate boiled eggs. They're horrible." Now I'm just like, "Oh, the boiled eggs is fine. Like, they're okay." Then 2 months later, someone might ask me, "Do you want some boiled eggs?" And I'll be like, "Nah, I don't like boiled eggs." And then I'll be like, "When did just not like boiled eggs?" It's almost like I'll just take it in. I'm like, I
Okay.
don't understand how that happened, but it just happens. Yeah. And
So
she's
okay,
very
so then
comfortable doing
what
that.
about it's not exactly what I meant, but yeah, I get
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. It's not. It wasn't
Yeah,
exactly what you meant.
you'll absorb her values as your own sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Um, okay, we're running a little bit over time. I just want to ask one more thing on boundaries. How
Shoot,
do you set boundaries? How do you go? Do you end up getting
I'm
that
really.
cat energy where people just cross your boundaries and you have to only react on the back end? Like, are you able to on the front end before someone makes a boiled egg? Are you able to say I don't like boiled eggs, and then no?
Yeah, I'm really bad at setting boundaries. I'm trying to get better, but like I don't know
Yeah,
what I think is a boundary is not a boundary to them, and then and
right.
then and then I kind of realize that as well. But then I'm like, I don't want to. Like I don't know. You just kind of then have to withdraw. It's never it doesn't come out like aggressively. You just kind of have to
Because like
withdraw.
I see
It's weird.
FI DOMs especially talking about their values constantly, and they'll just
Mm,
be talking about them constantly. And like not all of them are boundaries, but like when someone's always talking about what they find acceptable, what they find
It
not
creates.
acceptable, that kind of stuff, it creates those boundaries.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm basically not doing that. And like in those situations when someone, it feels like it's
But like, would
encroaching.
you know them enough to be able to communicate them? Like, would you know? Are you aware of what your boundaries are? Even
Yeah, I don't know. I don't what like,
all right,
I don't know. I usually I noticed I'll like kind of tell myself not to care.
right,
Like
yeah.
if I see myself getting annoyed, I'm just like, like I can just not care about that. It's fine. Like
Because
I'll
like
forget
I
about it.
personally see it's important. I like one of my values is not having values. One of my values is not having boundaries,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
why I don't have them. It's like okay,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I got to change that.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's exactly it. It's like I'm like what I said just earlier as well. Like I want them to actually be them, like their full selves. I don't want to restrict
right.
them. There's something bad that feels I don't want to like do that. So it's
But then
weird.
also people like I also
But
like this is wrong, right? But also I feel like people should know what's crossing a boundary because
for
like
real,
again, it's
yes.
subjective. It's
Oh,
FE.
yeah, yeah,
Right?
literally, yes. This is
Yeah.
yeah, this is true. Like
It's like how could you cross this boundary? It's like everybody has this boundary. It's like a communal thing that
yeah,
nobody does.
yeah, for
Yeah.
real. Yeah. Like that's exactly the thought process in my head when it happens. I'm like how could you not like be aware? Like you're annoying me right now. Like yeah,
Right.
for real.
Right. And this I Thomas already says it's also low
Yeah,
blast.
true.
They should
Yeah,
already
low
know.
blast.
I don't have to communicate it to them yet.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
true.
all right. So let's get to SI really quick.
Yeah.
Um, do do you organize the physical world around you?
Yeah. But it's like I do it for the sake of like it's a way of reining in on the SE chaos, and I almost do it in an NI way. It's like there's a method, it's like for a certain system. For example,
Mhm.
like at the end of the day, just before I sleep or just at the end of the day, I always clear my desk and clear my room so like everything's clear. There's nothing like on stuff. My desk is clear, and I don't do that like just to do that. I do that because of like a specific concept, like a productivity concept. It's like a term. I guess I don't know what it's called, but it's basically you have to when you wake up, you want to wake up at a reset point so that your brain isn't already overwhelmed at the start of the day. So you want to start at like a blank state, which allows you to be more productive. So like I learned about that
Mhm.
and I implement that. So it's
Yeah.
almost like there's a system about it. So I do it, but I want everything to work
To,
smooth.
do you see the physical world at all as being personal sometimes? Like
Uh if it's my stuff, yeah.
it's your stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, if it's my stuff. But yeah. But it's not
What do you
like
associate with it with your stuff? Like, okay, what kind of thing were you personal about in the past?
um my bag. Like I remember
Your bag.
at school, it's not even it doesn't even it's like because Dave and Shannon say how the SIs like personalized things as
Hmm.
like unique things. So it's like this is this
Yeah,
type of screwdriver or whatever. So I'm not doing that. I'm just saying it's mine. Whatever it
it's your
is
bag,
mine.
right?
Yeah,
So, okay,
whatever
so
it
does this
is.
bag have a history to it? Are you
No,
aware of its
no,
history?
no, it's just mine. Like the I got annoyed once because like at school people like we like in my friendship group like we were a big group like we just messed around with each other and like at lunchtime when we couldn't play football. I think in America you guys call it soccer. Like sometimes we couldn't do sports, so like we let out our angst just by messing around and doing dumb shit. And like one this time this guy he got my bag and he threw it in the it was like the staff toilet or whatever. I was
Oh
so
man.
pissed. I was like
Yeah,
and I never get angry like at all. I
yeah.
didn't say anything. I just walked up to him, grabbed his bag, like pulled him away, and I threw his bag in as well. And then I got my bag out. And I think, and it was like, and people were like, oh shit, like he's annoyed. And I was like, yeah, don't touch my bag, kind of thing. So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you can say whatever you want to me, whatever, but like, that's, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say this too. Lissa's saying it's related to chaos a little bit, but like I
Oh,
guess
okay.
you're less upset about the bag and more about the stuff in it. Is that what's going on?
No, it's just a
No,
principle. Like, how can this
right,
person straight up just take my thing? Like, yo, it's mine. Like,
right.
it
Yeah,
was literally just that kind of principle.
yeah, yeah,
I guess
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like the DI, like, I don't know.
Um, does the bag mean something to you beyond it being yours? Is there a deeper meaning to it? No.
No, not that I can think of. Like, um, no,
Are you
and
aware of when you used it, like when you're carrying it, like does it have associations with it, impressions from other times you had the bag?
not really, because and I kind of know this because like when people when something happens, if someone accidentally breaks something that's mine, I'm just like it's fine, like I can replace it, like I don't care. Like, and when
Right.
I had a friend, and she was really really drunk. We were in the club, and she lost her phone, and she was kind of freaking out, and like we were trying to calm her down, like, oh, find your phone, and I just went to her. I was like, hey, like, don't, it's a phone, like you can replace it, like, and like I'm literally disrespecting all, and the phone like has pictures, it's so
Hmm.
personalized, and even that I'm just like, doesn't matter, like you can take more pictures, like you
Right.
keep living on, and just like I don't know. So I
Uh-huh.
do really disrespect, and even when I get new things, I like to wear them out as well, just so that I don't care about it as much. Because
Hmm.
like I got these new shoes, and I was like, oh, they're really clean, and I'm more attached to it than I normally would because they're so new and white. So I'm like, I kind of want it to be dirty, so I'm more detached. Like
Oh, wow.
they should,
Okay.
yeah, it's weird. Like I just want to have it to do its thing.
Uh-huh.
When it's not ready to
Right.
perform, just get another thing.
Um, what about okay, what about in being in like in touch with your body? I guess you're high sleep, so you should know when you're sick, but like are you aware of like all the processes that are going on and stuff?
Yeah, to the point that my girlfriend's almost like, oh, you're overthinking something, or like, oh, that's not, like if I say it, oh, this is going on with me, she'll be like, oh no,
Hmm.
like that's not. So I kind of over I'm overly sensitive to what's going on. And like to the point, like Fred, he said to you in the interview, he was saying how like
Right.
when he's like kind of ill, that kind of sensation of like discomfort kind of almost stimulates his mind to like he's like riding the wave of that sensation. Mine,
Uh-huh.
it's like the complete opposite. It's completely disruptive. It's like if I feel like any like especially like a cold, like anything, it just my mind is then stuck on that sensation. I can't think about anything else. It's like the
Hmm.
most disruptive thing to like me just
Right.
existing.
So okay, so like so there are sensations that are just pain and it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with your body.
Yeah,
It's gonna go away, like a
yeah, yeah,
headache or something like that. But
yeah.
like would you be aware like if your breathing changed or aware if like I guess you would be because you're also asleep, like more tired one day than another day, or if your energy's higher. Yeah.
Yeah. But it has to be
Okay.
a very it has usually, but it's not, one thing I can say is I don't notice such like the gradual changes. I notice it when
Hmm.
it's like very obvious. So like
Hmm.
when something is obvious, I'll be like, oh shit, I'm feeling this. So it's not like the slight adjustments. It's more like
The
the
slight
clear,
adjustments. Yeah.
it's like the clear changes in
What
how I'm
about being
feeling.
aware of your overall health?
Oh yeah, I'm
Being
super.
worried about how healthy you are, about
Yeah.
I don't know,
I get like
vitamins.
yeah, I get so many blood, like I got different blood tests like over time. Like I know my cholesterol level, I know my I got blood sugar tested, all sorts. But like the main, the reason why I do that is because I want to be, because there was a time in like say you in university when I was like kind of struggling to like say excel. I was like I want to excel, but I'm not doing that. I'm trying to apply, study tactics and stuff. It's not working. Then I was like, okay, maybe I need to like optimize how my brain works. So then now I
Mhm.
think about it in terms of performance in order for me to like not only be my best, but then also ensure that as when I'm older and I have kids and everything, I'm the best I can be. I have to think about everything early because everything is cumulative. So that's why I do it. So I guess it's like an NI reason behind. Like I don't do it just because I want to. Like I see like a really good long term benefit. So like I just do that. Like I try track what's going on, and then I have like I take different like supplements to mediate whatever I'm missing. So I also take like probiotics, which is like it's good. Like yeah, I just take things that are helpful. Um,
Mhm. What about keeping on top of the clutter? I know clutter distracts you on that way, but
yeah,
like, what about like, I don't know, putting your shirts in the shirt drawer and your socks in the sock drawer? Like, do things have their place when
they
you're
have
organizing
the
stuff? Do you
yeah
like to assign things? Yeah.
they have their general place. So it'll be like this corner is for all. It's like I have category sections. So this section, so like I'll have like a drawer for it's like this is miscellaneous stuff that I never look at. This is the stuff that I occasionally look at that are useful tools. And this is like for the stuff that is medicinal in any way, shape, or form. And this is like, yeah, so it's more like vague category sections. Um,
Right.
yeah.
What about packing them in or ordering them in a specific way, or it's just all together? Yeah.
My girlfriend gets annoyed because I tend to do things. It's like it's a very flimsy organization. Like I'll just like when I'm folding things or when I'm trying to do anything, I always do it like just good enough. Like if it can just be there, like that's fine. I don't need to like make it right. So yeah, I don't do it very well, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
I didn't really give any sensory, but I'm guessing you know what
Yeah, yeah, and I get that.
I
Um, what about okay? What about people's data?
Ah,
Your phone data, your internet data, stuff like that. Do you think that's public domain? That's okay that it's just everybody has access to your data?
yeah. You mean like in what way would it not be okay? I don't understand. Like
Like,
like what people have information about me or
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I don't yeah. Like I probably have information about them. I don't
Hmm.
know. Like I mean, yeah, this is playing into it, but I'm genuinely confused. I don't know. Like why would like in what way would it be bad? Basically,
Like the last 10 stores you went to, if that was public, would that bother you?
no.
No.
But like, do
Um,
you know why? Like, would you be able to explain to me why it's where um where the negativity of that comes from? Because I genuinely, it's something I don't understand.
right. Well, it's something that I've been starting to try to notice with SI users
That's
versus SE users that like data is personal.
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Unless there's gonna be unless it's something I don't want them to know. I don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if someone took all of your interviews and internet presences over the time and they just put all of your words into like a document, like all of your sentences into a document, the number of times you said this word, and they started
Mm.
analyzing that data. Is that weird to you? Is that something that
It's
would
not in my head. It's like that's not even me anymore. That's just whatever thing they've created isn't even me. It's just their data
uh-huh.
of me. So it's
Yeah.
like it's not actually. I don't feel like it's me in any way. It's like something they're doing related to me, but it's not me. It's kind of like yeah. Um
Here's someone who does that.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's fine. I don't like yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Cool,
Yeah.
man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Basically, I think we learned that you don't access your shadow functions much,
Yeah, pretty much.
which is okay. I mean,
Yeah, makes sense.
you're
How
doing well
how's
without them, I guess.
how's everyone else been? Like, do other people like do the like such shadow
Yeah,
functions?
it depends. Some people do them more than others. Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
I'm the reason why I'm more interested in is how do jumpers the shadow functions in jumpers work a bit better. And
Yeah,
so like what I would be more interested in is where is your FI versus your TE in your stack sort of thing.
yeah. Me
And I
too.
really didn't differentiate which one was higher in your stack, FI or TE.
I really, yeah, like that's something that I've been trying to like figure out, and it's not clear to me because I know normal INFJs, like I guess in socionics or whatever, it's like TE polar, right? And I'm
Right.
like, what's my? I don't know what mine is.
What's
Like I
your
wouldn't know
polar?
if
Yeah.
it is TE or if it is FI. I definitely I aspire to TE. Like in me in my alpha state, I'm like
Mhm.
I'll be like be able to use my logic for the tribe. So then it becomes TE, right? But I don't know if that's just like but I don't know. I don't know how that arranges
Yeah, I
it.
also don't know
I
if it
don't know.
becomes TE. It's also like you presenting your identity. It's like building your
Yeah,
character and then yeah.
that's true. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well,
Uh,
awesome. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot
yeah,
for
man.
coming out.
No worries,
Yeah.
man.
Bye everyone. Thank you for watching.
Peace out.